Ram Sarvebhyaha. Welcome to learning to chant Sriman Narayaneeyam, class 105. Gurureva gatir gurumeva bhaje, gurunaiva sahasmi namo gurave, na guroh paramam shishurasmi guroh, matirasti gurau mama pahi guroh. Shrikanto matulo yasya janani sarvamangala, janaka shankaro devaha, vande kunjarananam. पीताम्बरंकर विराजित शंख चक्र कौमोदकी सरसिजं करुणा समुद्रं राधा सहायमति सुंदर मंदहासं वातालकेश मनिषं हृदि भावयामि. As announced in the previous class, from today for the next 3 classes we will have, it is like a theoretical session on pronunciation. What is pronunciation? Why pronunciation is important? What are the intricacies in pronunciation, the nuances? We have already learned most of it practically as we have been going through the course. Practically all this has already come into it. When the shloka I start, when you repeat, when I say concentrate on the Mahaprana, this has to be pronounced in this way, this Visarga here, this Anuswara here has to be pronounced in these ways. All that has been understood. But when you go to a new grantha, the idea of this course is, if you finish going to this course, any new book that you take, whether you want to do Ramayana Parayana, you want to do Sundarakanda Parayana, Bhagavata Parayana, or any other for that matter, if you take, you should be able to decipher that. If there is some confusion, some doubt, then you should be able to make a decision. This is how this has to be pronounced. There should be no doubt in your mind that it could be like that or it could be like that. So that should not happen, and the pronunciation should be clear, perfect. That is why let us have the theoretical aspects behind it, why these are. So this is not a deep grammar class. We are not going to go into sutras, or it is not vyakarana. So it is not. We are not going to mess around with those things. Only the practical aspects, wherever we require the very simple aspects, we are going to understand those aspects, which is good to know. So even if you do not know this, by practice itself you will understand pronunciation. You do not have to delve into this and keep all these rules in mind or anything like that. But it is good to know the rules also. As we, when you are young kids, if you start learning, then it kind of gets registered. This is how it has to be. But as we grow older, we want to know the analysis behind it, what is happening, all that we want to know. Therefore, some such rules is required. And then now in this class, the whole thing will be in Devanagari script only. I will be using that, but the examples all will be the shlokas that we have already seen. All the shlokas that we have taught will be used as examples. So if you want to see some other script, you can see that. But the importance is you should know either Devanagari or Grantha script, any script that is competent for Samskrita, which is mostly, even the Kannada, Telugu, all these scripts are convenient. But still we have some different pronunciation in these which are not there in Samskrita, which are different in Samskrita. All these should be understood like that. So that is why we are starting with this. At the end of today's class, we shall have the revision of the 2 Ramayana Dashakas, 34 and 35, because tomorrow is Ramanavami. At the end, for 10 minutes, we will do the revision of 34 and 35th Dashakam. So we shall start with why pronunciation is important. Now, if anybody has any questions, you can type it out in between. You can raise your hands also. So if I see any raised hands, I will ask in between. If you have any questions in the beginning, or you can raise your hand. So if I see any raised hand, I will ask. Accordingly, I will ask. So any doubts in between are allowed. So this is an interactive kind of class for next 3 classes. Why pronunciation is important? So there is a very nice shloka. Yadyapi bahunadhishe tathapi patha putra vyakaranam svajana shvajano ma bhut sakalam shakalam sakrit shakrit. This as is what in Samskrita, this is a nice verse to remember to specify the importance of pronunciation. Why pronunciation is important, how the meaning might change if we don't pronounce the word correctly. So even if you don't study too much, then also study very basic vyakarana, basic grammar, basic pronunciation you must know. Why should you know? So that Swajana does not become Shvajana. Swajana means those people who are with us. Nammaloda oru aatkal. Namma aatkal Swajana. Shvajana means dog. Dogs are called Shvajana. So this our people should not become dog people or a group of dogs. Shvajana can mean group of dogs. So this should not become like that. Sakalam means everything, all things, entire, totality, complete. Shakalam means part. Some fragment of it is called Shakalam. Sakrit means once. Sakrideva Prabannaya. In Suprabhatam Sakrit, once I come and bow down to you. Sakrit comes. Shakrit means cow dung. So if we use this in opposite terms, it becomes problematic. So in some languages, it is such letters, it is very difficult to exist. For example, in Bengali, the sakara hardly comes. It is always shakara, shakar. That's how they use. Even sabko pranam hai shabko, shubhashish. So it is all shakara only comes. So in those pronunciations, those regional pronunciation should not transfer to Sanskrita. When you pronounce in Sanskrita, it has to be like Sanskrita. Similarly, in Tamil also we see there is only cha, the sa also that is there. We don't usually use the Saraswati side. They say it's a new addition. It is only cha for either it is sha, sha, or sa. Only the cha vata upayogapadtarom. We should use properly. This should not change. So that meaning does not change. We have to be very careful. This is a nice verse to remember. Yadyapi bahunadhishe tathapi pathaputra vyakaranam svajana shvajano ma bhut sakalam shakalam sakrit shakrit. So why pronunciation is important in everyday usage? Let us say we are doing Naivedya every morning. Most of us do some small puja. Even if we don't do very long puja, only Naivedya we do to Bhagavan. Whatever food we have prepared, we offer it to Bhagavan and do Sakalam Nivedayami, we say. All this we give it to you. Mostly fruits are present, and even in fruits, the banana is present. Banana is called Kadali Phala in Sanskrita. Kadali means banana, Phala is fruit. So this banana fruit, I give it to you, O Bhagavan. Kadali Phalam Nivedayami. Now, instead of Kadali Phalam, instead of the Pha being Mahaprana, if we say Kadali Phalam Nivedayami, because many languages we don't say Phalam, or we say Fa, which does not exist in Sanskrit. If we say Kadali Phalam with only Pakara as Alpa Prana, then Phala means meat in Sanskrit. So it would mean I am giving you Kadali. Kadali refers to some kind of a deer. So I am giving you deer meat. This is what it would mean. Instead of saying Kadali Phalam, we say Kadali Phalam. It means I am giving you the meat of a deer. Kadali Balam, if you say, then I am giving you a strength of a banana or strength of a deer. So I am giving that as Nivedana to you. So this meaning changes very funnily and very not in the correct sense in many places. So you should not say Kadali Balam, not say Kadali Phalam. Kadali Phalam Nivedayami. That's how it should come. Right? Very difficult for Tamil speaking people, they say, but that is what we should practice. See, Tamil is Tamil. When we say in Tamil, pa, pha, ba, bha, all become same. There is only one letter. So in Tamil it is okay. Param only we will say. That is. When we come to Sanskrita, we should make an effort to put it like that. We should sit with that letter. We should put pa, one. We should put pa. Then pa. From the lungs, that air should come. If we give it enough, if you give enough stress, if you give enough practice, it will surely come. Not that anybody will not get it. Hey, this is language. Language is a basic human skill. It is not some esoteric. You don't need high intellect or some huge thinking to get this. All you require is practice and lot of listening. More you listen, more you practice, it will surely come. Any person will get it. Language is like that. Language will be simple only. It will not be very difficult. But it all we have to become used to it. That samskara should come. As we keep listening to it, more and more samskara will surely come. So there are three raised hands. We shall stop here. We shall ask. Venkateshwaran.
Sir, in the Tamil sollte, you see, shall I say in English or Tamil only? You see, what I am saying is, when you see, the problem comes when you use Sanskrit words to tell it in Tamil. But if you use pure Tamil, there is no ambiguity. See, pure Tamil, in that sense, the 4 letters you are saying Papa Baba. So that lack of that will not matter, because we are only trying to put other words in this language. Therefore, the problem. So if you are a pure Tamil person, if you talk pure Tamil, not Kocha Tamil.
Yes, I agree with your point. So, because Narayaneeyam is in Sanskrita, we should use Sanskrita script. A lot of people, they know only Tamil script, so they start using Tamil script. But because Narayaneeyam is written in Sanskrita, you should start using Sanskrita script, which becomes difficult. So you are using the Tamil script. So now you should, there is a need to find a common ground and make your pronunciation better. Deva Vrata? Panchananda Mahodaya?
Ram ji, sorry, mistakenly raised my hand. I actually lowered it.
Okay. Panchananda Mahodaya.
Swaminathan Pesra. I have a follow-up comment on Venkateshwara Gopala. When the pure Tamil pesum right? Saraswati there is no exact Tamil equivalence. We have to say Saraswati. So it is borrowed. That word has been borrowed, even if you don't say it. And also, that's my understanding is Tamil language and the Sanskrit language were one of the ancient ones. There are such like sister languages. Somewhere down the line, they decided to separate. So, where I look at it is the words, the sound, the same letter is used for different sounds. As a result, you have to do it based on the context. As against saying only one word. Chattai, use the same cha. You don't use a sha, say Shiva sha. You see, we still say chattai. We don't say chattai. Raja.
Correct.
Right? So, based on the context, the phonetics is to change. So, in Sanskrit, you are rich enough to say four, ka, ka, ga, 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 right? In Tamil, you only have ka. Right? But still, you have to make based on the context. So, like some of the highly typed languages, Java, C++, you can use the same function for different applications. Right?
I will tell about this. The thing is, Vishnu, we are not going into too much depth in Tamil. I know a lot of people here attending the classes are mother tongue is Tamil, so many people will understand the problem. But I think even in Tamil, the Grantha script, which was very close to Tamil. So probably in ancient Tamil, when they were using for Sanskrita, they used to use the Grantha script. That would have probably been the case, because even now in Tamil Nadu, a lot of people who are learning the Vedas or other things, they use the Grantha script. And a lot of books are being published in that script. It is very close to Tamil. Whatever letters exist in Tamil, mostly are same in Grantha. The other extra letters are denoted differently. So this might have been the case. So we shall keep that way. And Sundaravalli. So once you finish the question, lower your hand so that we can continue.
Ram Mahodaya. So all this time, if we have been saying Kadali Palam, have we accrued lot of sin?
No. See, always sin is accrued when it is intentionally done, or when you know and you still do not do. If you have done it without knowing, then it does not acquire sin. After you get to know, you should do it better.
So it's Kadali Phalam.
Yes, Kadali Phalam.
Ram. Thank you.
S.R. Valluri or Kalyani?
Yeah, namaskaram.
Yeah. Namaskaram.
Sanskrit is a very, very fantastic language, and some of these languages like Telugu and other Malayalam and all that, they are based on Sanskrit.
Correct.
And see, the point I want to ask you is that ya, ra, la, va, sasha, saha, la. The la is it there in the Sanskrit? La, always la is there. La.
We will come to that point later. So any questions ask with only respect to this, because we have a lot of 3 sessions, everything will be covered. We do not have la in Sanskrit. It is there in all South Indian languages. The la is there on all South Indian languages.
Okay.
Ram.
Thank you.
Kalyan. Please keep your
Ram
questions
Ram ji.
close to the slide. Yes. Ram Ram.
Actually, I also wanted to ask the same one what Mr. S.R. Valluri asked. I'll just ask you once you taught us in Sanskrit there is only la, there is no la.
Yeah.
When we see the Tamil version as well as Sanskrit version written by Sengalipuram Sri Anantama Digitar, sometimes they write la, Murali, or sometimes they write Murali.
I think that is depends on how we speak Tamil. So they would have put that lakara depending on how we speak usually in Tamil. But in Sanskrita only la exists. There is no second la.
So wherever it comes, we should say la only, not la at all.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Dhanyavad ji.
Ram. So here, if we keep your questions close to the slide and where whatever is the topic of the slide. Once we cover everything, if you missed out something, then you can ask. But we are covering a lot of portion over the next 3 weeks, so many things will be covered. So don't worry. Your questions will be solved. Next. And please put your hands down if you have fresh questions. So now we'll go to the next part. What is the name of form of Shiva who holds Gangadhara? We know Gangadhara is a very known epithet for Shiva. Now Gangadhara means one who holds Ganga. The dha with Mahaprana when you say Gangadhara, Dharati, Gangam Dharati, it is Gangadhara. The same if you say Gangadhara. Now a lot of bhajans are there. Gangadhara, we sing in bhajans. So even in bhajans you should sing that Dhakara, Mahaprana must come. Because it is a song or something, you should not reduce the intensity or stress on the Mahaprana. You say Gangadhara, it refers to a poisonous river. You're saying Ganga herself is poisonous. In current case, maybe it is there because of so many industrial pollution. But it will not refer to Shiva. Gangadhara will not refer to Shiva anymore. It might refer to the poisonous Ganga that is flowing down in the plains. Nothing else. So we have to be very careful with Alpa Prana and Mahapranas. So that is the take-home point from these slides. Ram J15, you have a question? You can unmute yourself. Now, one more name of either Ganesha or Shiva is Bhalachandra or Bhalachandra. Same thing, instead of Phala or Bhala, if he says Balachandra, it will mean young moon or small moon. It is the second or third day after Amavasya, that kind of moon can be called as Balachandra. But Bhala or Phala both mean forehead. So forehead, what we are actually trying to say here is, it can be used in two ways. Bhale Chandraha, that is, he has the moon on the forehead. So Bhale Chandraha or Bhalaha Chandraha Iva. If your forehead is like a half moon, so it is so beautiful. That's what they want to say. It is broad forehead. Then it can also be called as Bhalachandra. In poetic terms, in both manners it comes. So Bhalachandra or Bhalachandra, the second and third options are correct. Whereas Balachandra is usually not used. It can be used. It means different. It means a young moon, just growing after Amavasya. That is what it would mean. Now let us see a very famous shloka. We shall see. Saraswati namastubhyam varade kamarupini vidyarambham karishyami siddhir bhavatu me sada. This is a very, in the beginning we always pray to Goddess Saraswati is to begin anything. Pullayar and Saraswati we pray. Saraswati namastubhyam. That is the most important thing here. The first word Saraswati is T is Ikara should be Hrasva. You should not say Saraswati namastubhyam. Lot of recordings, lot of players we have heard. When they play it publicly in temples or the small recorder that comes, which is kept in puja room, it goes on. Saraswati namastubhyam varade kamarupini. Goes. Everything becomes dirgha. Here you are calling out to Saraswati. Saraswati should be in Sambodhana. It is, hey Saraswati, O Goddess Saraswati, O Kamarupini, you are calling out. So in Sanskrita, both Saraswati and Kamarupini should be ikara. That last letter should be hrasva. You should not say Saraswati. It should be only Saraswati. So that should be very important here. Because it is vocative. You are calling out to Saraswati. Oh Saraswati. Instead, if you say Saraswati, it becomes, she becomes the doer, the subject, the doer of the work. So the meaning could completely change. In Sanskrit, if you see, the first one, Saraswati Namastubhyam, would mean, oh Saraswati, I salute you. I offer my prostrations. I am doing namaskara to you. Instead, if it becomes Saraswati Namastubhyam, we could take the meaning that Saraswati gives her prostrations to you. So somebody is standing in front of you, Saraswati Tubhyam Namaha Karoti, we could say. So Saraswati is doing prostrations to you. So that would change the whole meaning. That should not happen. That is why we have to be very careful. Too, in the similar manner, that whole Mahalakshmi Ashtakam is there. What is starting Mahalakshmi Namostute? All 8 shlokas is Mahalakshmi Namostute. Sarvajñe, Sarvavarde, Sarvadushta Bhayankari, Sarvadukka Hare Devi, Mahalakshmi Namostute. So there Devi, Mahalakshmi, all should be Ikara, should be Hrasva. The whole stotra there, all the 8 shlokas. The Ekara and all should be Dirgha. Wherever the word ends with Ikaranta, all that should be Hrasva only. Adyanta Varade Devi, Adishakti, Maheshwari, Yogajña Yoga Sambhute, Mahalakshmi, Namostute. All that should be Ikara, should be only Hrasva there. You should never elongate it. So that you should keep it in mind. And Jyoti Shanai.
Ram Ram Guruji. Yeah, I do recite the Mahalakshmi Ashtakam every day, but I did not understand the Ikara and the Rasva. I could not follow that.
The first sloka there is Namastestu Mahamaye Shri Pite Surapujite
Shankar Chakra Gada.
Shankar Chakra Gadabatme Mahalakshmi Namostute. The last line is Mahalakshmi Namostute, right? Many people say it as Mahalakshmi Namostute. That Lakshmi should not become Dirgha. That Ikaranta in Lakshmi should be Hrasva. Like Saraswati here is Hrasva. Similarly, in Mahalakshmi, it is Mahalakshmi Namostute. It is not Mahalakshmi Namostute. Here, second shloka, for example, Namaste Garuda Rudhe Kolasura Bhayankari. It is not Kolasura Bhayankari, Sarva Papa Hare Devi. No, Sarva Papa Hare Devi, Mahalakshmi Namostute. That is how it should.
Okay. Thank you, Guruji. Now I'll remember you when I'm reciting.
The whole shloka, everywhere the Ikara comes, it should be Hrasva in that. All 8 shlokas there. Now Kalyani, and then Panchanatam Mahal.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
That's a beautiful analysis. Just to raise it, probably I'm going to touch on. On the other hand, Devi Mahatmya, we say Ya Devi, that should be Dirgha, correct?
Yeah, that is always Dirgha. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu, whatever Rupena Samskrita.
So that should be Dirgha, correct?
Yes, that should be Dirgha only.
Yeah, this should be Dirgha only. It should not be Hrasva. Yeah, beautiful.
No, it should not be. Similarly, another famous shloka is Annapurne Sadapurne Shankara Pranavallabhe Jnana Vairagya Siddhyartham Chantehi Cha Parvati. There also. There Parvati is Hrasva. Bhikshantehi Hrasva. There also many people say Bhikshantehi Cha Parvati.
I mean,
Cha Parvati.
When they sing this in music, for the sake of some sangatis and all, they simply elongate, right?
Yes, yes. So that is some very rare can be done, but that is only if it's proper music. Simply because you should put a tune to shloka, you should not unwantedly elongate it.
There's another
little leeway is given.
Yeah, another murder one is this. Dikshadhar Kriti, Nirajakshi, Kamakshi. This Nirajakshi, they put because of this Hindola, raga, but he has composed it so beautifully. So we have to. I think the language knowledge should be there for somebody to sing.
Yeah. Dikshadhar Kriti, it will always be very well. In Ni and Ja, you can pull that Nirajakshi.
Yeah.
Ikara should be Hrasva only there. That you should not pull for too long.
Yeah.
That's how. Kalyani, you can. Then Gopala Krishna.
Ramji, similarly, Sri Ramarameti, Sri, is it, we need to middle or
No, but
Sri Ram?
only. See, first of all, if you see the books, in all books, it is all printed mostly correctly only. It is when we pronounce that we make the mistake. If you take the book and see whichever language it is printed in, printing and all will be correct. Mostly 95% it will be correct. So Shri will be Dirgha only. Then Ramarameti, Ikara will be Hraswa. Whichever language you take. We have to look at that carefully and pronounce it that way. That is most important. Because we have heard it from many people, elder, somebody sang, somewhere it is heard, we start telling it wrongly. In all books, it is all correct only. And no book I have seen Saraswati, Namastubhyam, or Bhikshan Dehi, Chaparvati is not there in any book. All book it is correct. While pronouncing, we all pronounce it wrongly.
Is only Sri Ramarameti is Dirgha only.
Yes, Shri. Yes. Shri is always Dirgha.
Similarly, O Shri, Shri.
Yeah. There also Shri is Dirgha. Yes.
Oh, thank you, Ji. Thank you.
Gopala Krishna, then Parthasarathi. Parthasarathi, Gopala Krishna, any of you can unmute.
Namaste, Acharya Mahodaya.
Namaste. Yes.
Gopala. My doubt is, all these confusions will not arise if we chant the slokas in Sanskrit. Am I right?
Conclusion?
No. Confusion will not arise whether it is Hrasvam or Dirgham and all that. If we chant the slokas in Sanskrit, it will be much clearer.
Yeah, slokas are in Sanskrit. You can't chant it in any other language. Right?
No, in Tamil in books, it is printed in Tamil only.
Yeah, it is. See, even in Tamil, only Mahaprana, Alpaprana problem will happen. Hraswa Dirgha problem will not happen even in Tamil. Because Hraswa Dirgha will be proper in Tamil books also. So, Tamil main problem is Mahaprana, we don't have. That is the problem. Otherwise, this and that also it is same. Yes, Dhanyavad. Jyotishanai?
Yes, Ram Guruji, this Saraswati Namastubhyam, should it be recited only first time when you start any new lesson, or can it be recited every day?
No, it can be recited every day, everywhere, every time. These shlokas and all have no such niyamas. You can always recite them. It is a practice that because Vidyarambham, it says Vidyarambham. So anytime you start in the beginning, you.
Okay. Even if it's the same thing what we are going to learn, if I'm doing something, I can recite it. That's what I was doing every morning. Yeah, thank you. There was always this doubt in my mind. So.
Parthasarathi, 56. Yes. Parthasarathi, you have something to say? Oh, now, the second point in the same shloka is Vidyarambha. Many people, when they see this Dya, they think there is a Mahaprana Dya there. Dyotayate, Dyoh Prithvi, and all we say Vidyarambham. It is not Vidyarambham, it is Vidyarambham only. You see the difference in font. Mainly they get confused because this is how it is written in Samskrita font. While writing, handwriting at all, they will get confused because the Mahaprana Dha seems very close to this Dya. So they get confused thinking it is Mahaprana Dha and Yakara. That is not the case. It is Alpa Prana Dha with Yakara. This is Mahaprana. On the right, you can see Vidyarambham. So Vidya is knowledge. Vidhi would become destiny or fate. So again, the meaning of the shloka is saying, instead of saying, I am starting my study, I am starting acquiring knowledge, it will say, I am starting my fate, I am starting my destiny. We can blame anything. Then we can start blaming destiny and fate for whatever happened during studies. So I did not study because of fate, I did not study, you can say. Saraswati gave me fate to be this way. So again, Alpa Prana, Mahaprana difference has to be, that mainly comes because of the font also, but you should remember that this Dya is written this way and Dhya is written this way. That should be very important. So is SR Valli, did you raise your hand again?
Just one question.
Yes, yes.
The three sas, sa, sha, sa, sa, sha, sha. These
Yes.
the last sha, the second size is the sha.
That we will come to it later.
First is Saraswati, then Shiva, Shanmukha.
Then Shanmukha.
Shanmukha. Could you please explain to me the correct pronunciation of the?
We will come. Please do not ask anything beyond the slide. We are coming to all those parts.
Oh, sorry, I didn't say slide, sir. Sorry, I didn't say slide. Sorry, Andre. Shamyadam.
Dhanyavad. Nigu, you have anything to ask? Devavrata?
Namaste, Guruji. Nigu. Then Vidya is Vidya or Vidya means Vidhoya.
See, again, you are telling in English. It should not be told in English. In English, you can say Vidya. We can also say Vidya. We don't know whether it's da or da. So the English representation is only for because we do not know the script. This is Vidya. Vidya is Alpa Prana. So we have to use Vidya Rambham is Alpa Prana.
Thank you.
Ram J15. Okay, you have anything to ask?
Guruji, Namaste. Just a request. These all pronunciation videos which we are going to have these 3 Saturdays. It will be available now or referring later.
Yes. All these as usual will be available on YouTube. No worries. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Dhanyavad. Next. So that is Alpa Prana Mahaprana again. Now this is also another very known shloka. Shuklam Varadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Vadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vighnopashantaye. Again, we all tell this mostly every day in many things. When we start Vishnu Sahasranama, other stotras, we use the shloka. Now, one by one word, we should see what are the common mistakes in this shloka. Shuklam Varadharam. Again, Dhara and Dhara, as we saw in Ganga Dhara. Shuklambara means white clothes. One who is wearing white clothes is called Shuklambara Dhara, which refers to Ganapati here. Instead, if we say Shuklambara Dharam, Dharam means one who tears. So one who tears white clothes can be called Shuklambara Dhara. Or one who has poisonous white clothes can be called Shuklambara Dhara. Like for example, Purandara means one who kills, one who tears that Pura. It is Purandara is usually used as an epithet for Shiva. Shiva is called Purandara. So break apart, destroy. These kind of thing comes for tear. So it should not be Shuklam Varadharam Vishnum. You should not say it. Shuklam Varadharam Vishnum. That's how it should be. Yeah. Then Dhyayet. Second line you see Prasanna Vadanam Dhyayet. The Dhya should again be Mahaprana here. In Vidyarambham it should be Alpa Prana. Here it should be Dhyayet. Dhyayet means to meditate upon, to concentrate upon. This would mean Dhyayet. Instead, if you say Dhyayet, it will mean to hate, to despise, to condemn somebody. So it will be, change the meaning in opposite manner. So I am despising, I am hating Ganapati. Prasanna Vadanam Dhyayet. I want to hate Ganapati. That's how it will be. Dhyai Nyakarane is a dhatu there. So in Samskrita, not only it will not become meaningless. Mostly there will be many words with very, very little difference. So it will change the meaning mostly. If you change the pronunciation, it will change the meaning instead of being meaningless. Even meaningless is better. If it changes the meaning, it becomes even worse. So what are the main aspects? Take home. This is what we should note down. This is what we should always remember. One is short versus long vowels, Hrasva and Dirgha. Hrasva and Dirgha Swara are very important. Where it should be Hrasva, small, where it should be Dirgha, you can elongate. Hrasva and Dirgha Swara. Second is less effort and more effort. Alpa Prana and Mahaprana. Less effort means slowly you say Da. Da means you say there are a lot of air coming from the lungs. So it's called Mahaprana. So it refers to Prana. Prana means the breath that you have. Less breath if you are using, it's called Alpa Prana. More breath if you are using Mahaprana. Less time you are saying Hrasva Swara. More time you are saying Dirgha Swara. This is the difference. One is with respect to time, the other is with respect to effort that you give. So these are the two take home points. Now we have some questions are there.
Namaskaram.
Pancham Dhamma. Yes.
One question. When you in the previous slides, you said Puram Dara, one who burns the city. So the name for Shiva, right? But in the Vyakarana, you are taking the Manuswara to Nakara. Purandara is also correct. That's the meaning changing. Instead of Purandara, Purandara.
No, the meaning is saying Anuswara to Nakara. No, that then Sandhi and all meaning won't change.
Meaning won't change. Okay. Then there's out there who call a Purandara because Purandara Dasa, I don't know whether he's a devotee of Shiva, but he was more a devotee of Shiva. He's called Purandara Dasa. So, I mean,
correct, yes.
There another name.
In some way we can make the meaning towards Krishna also. Like he also destroyed some cities and all like that. If we see, we can take that meaning. We won't get into that, but basically that is the point.
So Sandhi rules won't make the change, right? If we put the Sandhi rules, won't change the meaning. Purandara.
No, Sandhi rules will never change the meaning. Sandhi rules will never change the meaning. But yes, you can get Shlesha and Karas, which they have used. It can give two different meanings. You split the Sandhi one meaning, you don't split the Sandhi other meaning. Like that and all. Poets have used in their poems to give two different meanings for the same sloka. So that is a beauty again. That is not.
Dhanyavad.
Yes. Dhanyavad. Yeah. Keshava Chandran. Ram. Keshav Chandran or Sundravalli.
Ram Mahodaya, when you showed the Vishnu Sahasranamam slokam, sometimes ignorance is bliss. I mean, we are grateful for you to show to show all this, but now it's scary. I mean, so ignorance can be bliss sometimes.
That is, but it should. That is why in the mail when I said for pronunciation, I said bhakti along with bhakti is required.
Correct. Yeah.
That's pronunciation should be there. Devotion should also be there.
Correct. Yeah.
Namaste, Guruji.
Yes, Keshav.
Sir, in the slogam it is told, Shuklam Bharatharam Vishnum. Shuklam Bharatharam means the one who is wearing white clothes. So, Shuklam Bharatharam Vishnum, it is denoting Vishnu. How it is denoting Ganapati?
No, because Vishnu means, no, Shuklam. Vishnu is always Pitambara. Vishnu never wears white clothes. So Shuklam Bharatharam, the whole thing refers to Ganapati. Vishnu has a different meaning in all Vishnu Sahasranama Bhasha. If you say the first, second name, Vishwam Vishnu, means one who is there everywhere. Means omnipresent. That's what Vishnu means. Vyapratatvat Vishnu. That is the meaning there. Vishnu. Vishnu does not refer to Mahavishnu on the snake pit. That does not. It is not the reference to that.
But both are in the same vibhakti, no? Because what I doubt in whether Shuklam Bharatharam is Visheshanam of Vishnu.
The whole everything is Visheshana to Ganapati. Here, Prasanna Vadanam, the whole thing. See, here no God has been. Ganapati is not there. So you have to make all the adjectives. Only the adjectives are given. All these adjectives will only go towards Ganapati. No other. Our gods will get these adjectives. Shashi Varnam, he should be white in color. Vishnu is not white in color. Vishnu is always dark. Whichever avatar also, he is dark in color only. Then Prasadam, though all these things put together, and Sarva Vignopa Shantaye. We know for Vigna, any hurdles, we always pray to Ganapati. Right?
I guess Vishnu stands for all the gods, right? Vishnu stands for all the gods. Doesn't have to be only Mahavishnu, but Vishnu could be Ganapati.
Yeah, Vishnu always stands for all the gods. Here, this shloka refers to Ganapati. There is no doubt. Yes. Ram J15, Partha Sarathi 356. Any questions? Or Venkateshwaran?
Saraswati to see, Saraswati in Tamil is Kalai Mahal. Kalai Mahal, Malai Mahal, Tirumagal. Lakshmi, if you tell it in Tamil, you will commit a mistake. Lakshmi is a Sanskrit word. So, that's Malay Tirumagal.
No, correct. So that is a different topic altogether. Correct. We can tell Lakshmi, where Mari Solla, Purira. That's Taniya. Tamil class. Ram. Deva Vrata.
Ramji, actually I was seeing the slides what you were teaching. On the Shuklam Bharataram first slide, I noticed that you were showing two different meanings. But this Puram plus Dasa, Dara, refers to Shiva, you say, but we don't hear that name ever.
No, we hear. You have to, as you read more, you will know. In many Puranas it comes. Purandara is there as a name of Shiva. Okay, you will learn when you read more books. You will learn. Okay, Ram.
Okay, Ram Guruji, thank you.
Okay. So now, the take-home points is short vowels, long vowels, less effort and more effort. So this is another known Sampradaya shloka on pronunciation. Vyagriyata yatha haret putran damshtrabhyam nacha pidayet bhita patana bhedabhyam tadvat varnan prayojayet. So just like a tiger, when it takes its children, it will not hurt its children. It is going to take it by its mouth and it will catch hold of the cubs by its mouth and it will transport it to different places. But it will not hurt those. So similarly, in that kind of a manner, we should use varnas. All the letters that we use, it should be used so carefully. You should not hurt the letters. Mahapranami, you will not say da, so that the whole thing is about. At the same time, you will not say da. It should be da and da. That difference should be shown. It does not mean you put your whole prana into one single letter. Right? So that it is a very fine line that we have to tread. This shloka is from Paniniya Shiksha. Shiksha Shastra tells how to pronounce and all those things. Clearly it says. This is from there. So now we go into there are 10 aspects to pronunciation. So now we have just laid the foundation. Very simple foundations we have laid. From now on we will see examples from the Narayaneeyam itself. Now we have seen some examples before. From here on it is Narayaneeyam examples. So aspect 1 is we know swaras and vyanjanas. So these are the 8 plus 5, 13 swaras in Sanskrit. So you see a, I, u, r, l, a, I, o. Main thing to remember here is all these exist in most of the languages. We have these swaras, but here the main point is a, I, o do not have hrasva and dirgha. In South Indian languages, many of us are South Indians. We see a, I, o, and that is there. So a and okara have hrasva and dirgha. This does not exist in Sanskrit. It is only dirgha. There is only long pronunciation of a, I, o, and au. There is no hrasva pronunciation of these letters. This is very important to remember. So whenever we write it in Kannada, Telugu, or Tamil or Malayalam, we should always write only the dirgha pronunciation. We should not write the hrasva, ekara, hrasva, okara should not be written even while writing. Right? That is important to be remembered. Only 13 vowels are there. So here now, how to say hrasva? What is the time limit for hrasva? Time limit for dirgha? One matra kala is what we say. Matra kala is not clearly defined. Matra does not mean okay, you count 1 second, 2 seconds, not like that. There is a general definition that when you blink your eye, you say like that. A, I, u, I. That's how it is. One blinking, snapping, tapping, all this is one matra kala. Same 2 matra kala. You blink twice and say a, I, u. Then you will get the dirgha letters. So this is the thumb of rule given. 1 matra kala is short, 2 matra kala is dirgha. Beyond 2 matra kala, we call it a pluta, which we are not dealing with. We don't get it in usual Samskrita or poems. Similarly, for l, it is not, first the thing is, it is not pronounced as r. There is no r. This letter here is completely different from l. You see the 5th vowel here. This 5th vowel, it is not l plus this. It is not l plus r. This is not the pronunciation. This is wrong. L, the writing is also like this, which is different from this. Both are different. Both are not the same. And the pronunciation is also not l. It is l. Okay, that is how the pronunciation is. And there is no long. It is not It does not have L. There is no dirgha for that. It's only L. Only that is there. And A and O do not have Raswa. Everywhere in all these places, consistency is the key. In one place you say Rama, if you say, next time you say Nama, you should not say Nama. Rama, if you say Nama. The same, all of us will have one kind. Some of us will say the Hraswa a little longer than others. That is okay. But you should say the Hraswas in the same way all across. You should say the Dirghas in the same time all across. You should not say once Hraswa should not become Dirgha, Dirgha should not become Hraswa. You get it? You should be consistent across your whole reading. So whenever we judge in the Parayanam or memorization test also, there will be difference between people. But once you start, you should maintain your own consistent pace, your own consistent pronunciation. Some people might pronounce the Mahapranas a little more harder than others. That is okay. But there should be a difference between Alpa Prana and Mahaprana. The same difference should be held across your whole recitation. There should be a difference between Hraswa and Dirgha. Same amount of difference should be consistently held across all your reading and your pronunciation. That is what is most important. And there should be enough difference for you to between both. Now, second aspect is all the Vyanjanas. These are all consonants of Sanskrit. This also we know 5 into 5. There are those called the different Vargas, Ka, Cha, Ta, Ta, Pa Vargas, and then the 8 letters which are Avargiya, not in the Varga. How do we pronounce this? Here is where Mahaprana, Alpa Prana come. For Swaras, there is only Hraswa and Dirgha. For Vyanjanas, there is only Alpa Prana and Mahaprana. That is how the categorization is. As we go on, we will see how scientific and how exact these are. So the first 5 rows are classified into Vargas. The first 5 we know. The 6th row, Yara, Lava, Shasha, Saha are called Avargiya. They do not belong to any Varga, so they are called Avargiya. The 6th row. In the first 5 rows, the first, 3rd and 5th letters are Alpa Prana. For example, in the first row, Ka, this Ka, Ga, and Na. These are all Alpa Prana. Right? These are Alpa Prana. In every row, till the 5th row, these are Alpa Prana letters. So you can actually put around like this. These are Alpa Prana letters. The 2nd and 4th letter are Mahaprana letters. This is Mahaprana. Mahaprana. All these are Mahaprana. Ka, Cha, Ta, Tha, Ga, Ja, Dha, and Dha. These are all Alpa Pranas and this is Mahaprana. Okay. Even these 8 letters have Alpa Prana and Mahaprana. The first, this Ya, Ra, La, Va are all Alpa Pranas. Sha, Sha, Saha are all Mahapranas. These 4 are Mahapranas. These 4 are, the first 4 are Alpa Pranas. The second 4 are Mahapranas. This is how all the consonants are classified. So we have 25 plus 8, 33 consonants. So 33 consonants plus 13 vowels. That is the whole this thing. 46 symbols, 46 letters we have. Okay. High effort Mahaprana, low effort Alpa Prana. This is the whole concept that we have. Right? So each Varga here, now that we have 5 Vargas, each Varga is associated with a particular part of our vocal apparatus. Our vocal apparatus is not one single thing. There are many parts in our vocal apparatus which has been deeply analyzed. So this, the first Varga, this is 1. As we see, the numbering is given in this diagram. As if we put the numbers here, it will exactly correspond to those parts in our vocal system. That's how it works now. So the first Varga all comes from the throat. The first Varga, Ka, Kha, Ga, Gha, Na. You should do this practically and see. When you say the first Varga, all the air will pass only through the throat. Ka, Kha, Ga, Gha, Na. You will feel the vibration in the throat. Next, when you say Cha, Cha, you want that much vibration will not be felt at the throat. Cha, the tongue will go and touch the back, very behind it will touch, and then the air will come through that place. Cha, Cha, Ja, Cha, Nya. Then Tha, when you say, tongue will touch the top of the mouth. It is called the Murdha. Ta, Tha, Da, Dha, Na. Then the tongue touches near the teeth, the front of the mouth. just above or at the teeth itself will touch. Ta, tha, da, dha, na. Then the tongue does not do anything. It is both the lips are closing. So it is called Oshtha. Ba, pha, ba, bha, na. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, Yara, Lava, Shasha, Saha, they come in different places. Ya again comes with the Talu. Ra comes with Murdha. La is with Danta. Va is separate. It uses both 4 and 5. This Sha comes with the Talu. This Sha comes with the Murdha. This Sa is with the Danta and Ha is with Kantha. Right? So if you want to make a note here, you can make a note. Anyway, these slides will be available. Similarly, as we put all the slides in the course page, all these slides will be available. So do not worry. This is the whole classification. So now we will few slides later.
When you put it on the course page, all the edits will be there, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because these are all you did.
Yeah, all these edits will be there. I'll save it along with my writing, and I'll put it. So those edits will also be there. No worries. So this is how the pronunciation will happen. I think we will stop here for today, and we will take the next thing in the next class. Now I will revise the 34th and 35th Dashaka for the sake of Ramanavami. We shall recite the 34th and 35th Dashakam from Narayaneeyam, and then any short questions are there, I can address them.
Yeah, very short question. You touched on a very, very important point in the pronunciation, because our vocal cord is different for everybody. Same in music, right? So the Alpa Prana, Mahaprana, we should only show the differences, but there's no standard way of saying Alpa Prana and Mahaprana. So Shuklam Varadharam. Because when I'm learning from somebody, they say, da, da, they ask me to pound on it. So essentially, that should be taken off, because you want to differentiate when you are saying the Alpa Prana, Mahaprana, so that there is difference. Same like in a music note, you want to show the differences. In a way, the speaking is like singing in a slightly different way, but you still follow the matras, you set the scale, the time space you give between the verses. They say Rama, Nama, but the way I say it, you may say Rama, Nama. So those things are individualistic.
Yes.
So when somebody is teaching it, I felt the same way, but some teachers are very hardliners. They ask you to do this. I tend to differ, and I don't argue with them. But you touched on it very beautifully.
Yes. Next, Kalyani, yes.
You said in 13 swaras, both in short and long, that is Hsva and Dirgha, how to pronounce that fourth letter? E, U. What is that fourth letter? How to pronounce them, both in long and short?
R is the fourth letter. Like Matru, Pitru, Rishi.
Thank you. Similarly, thank you, Ji. Another doubt, in Bakara Visai sequence, second letter is Mahaprana.
Yeah.
Sometimes in 8th Dashakam, 6th sloka, Tavayaveshe, Haniraji Sheshe or Faniraji Sheshe.
We will come to that. We will come.
Okay. Thank you, Ji.
Guruji, I have one question. Can I ask?
Yeah.
What is Vyanjana means?
Hands down. Vyanjana means consonant.
Okay.
That's all. Padmaja Anantayar, any questions? Okay. Any other questions? We shall take it after, if there is anything, after my revision. So we shall recite these two Dashakams. You can put your hands down if you don't have answers. Then I'll see the questions on the tab also. I'll share only the Sanskrit script as a document. You can follow the book if you have it in front of you, Narayaneeyam book, for your own scripts. गीर्वाणैरर्थ्यमानो दशमुखनिधनं कोसलेश्वृष्य शृङ्गे पुत्रीयामिष्टिमिष्ट्वा ददुषि दशरथक्ष्माभृते पायसाग्र्यम् तद्भुक्त्या तत्पुरन्ध्रीष्वपि तिसृषु समं जातगर्भासु जातः रामस्त्वं लक्ष्मणेन स्वयमथ भरतेनाभिशत्रुघ्ननाम्ना कोदण्डी कौशिकस्य क्रतुवरमवितुं लक्ष्मणेनानुयातः यातो भूस्तातवाचा मुनिकथितमनुद्वन्द्वशान्ताध्वखेदः नृणान्त्राणाय बाणैर्मुनिवचनबलात् ताटकां पाठयित्वा लब्ध्वास्मादस्त्रजालं मुनिवनमगमो देवसिद्धाश्रमाख्यम् मारीचन्द्रावयित्वा मखशिरसि शरैरन्यरक्षांसि निघ्नन् कल्यां कुर्वन्नहल्यां पथि पदरजसा प्राप्य वैदेहगेहम् भिन्दानश्चान्द्रचूडं धनुरवनिसुतामिन्दिरामेव लब्ध्वा राज्यं प्रातिष्ठथास्त्वं त्रिभिरपि च समं भ्रातृवीरैः सदारैः आरुन्धानेरुषान्धे भृगुकुलतिलके संक्रमय्य स्वतेजः याते यातोऽस्य योध्यां सुखमिह निवसन् कान्तया कान्तमूर्ते शत्रुघ्नेनैकदाथो गतवति भरते मातुलस्याधिवासम् तातारब्धोऽभिषेकस्तव किल विहतः केकयाधीशपुत्र्या तातोक्त्या यातु कामो वनमनुजवधू संयुतश्चापधारः पौरानारुध्य मार्गे गुहनिलयगतस्त्वञ्जटाचीरधारी नावासन्तीर्य गङ्गामधिपदविपुनस्तं भरद्वाजमारात् नत्वा तद्वाक्यहेतोरतिसुखमवसश्चित्रकूटे गिरीन्द्रे श्रुत्वा पुत्रार्तिखिन्नं खलु भरतमुखात् स्वर्गयातं स्वतातं तप्तो दत्त्वाम्बुतस्मै निदधिथ भरते पादुकां मेदिनीं च अत्रिन्नत्वाथ गत्वा वनमति विपुलं दण्डकञ्चण्डकायं हत्वा दैत्यं विराधं सुगतिमकलयश्चारुभोः शारभङ्गीं नत्वा अगस्त्यं समस्ताशरनिकरसपत्राकृतिं तापसेभ्यः प्रत्यश्रौषीः प्रियैषी तदनु च मुनिना वैष्णवे दिव्यचापे ब्रह्मास्त्रे चापि दत्ते पथि पितृसुहृदं वीक्ष्य भूयो जटायुं मोदात् गोदा तटान्ते परिरमसि पुरा पञ्चवट्यां वधूट्या प्राप्ताया शूर्पणख्या मदनचलधृतेरर्थनैर्निस्सहात्मा तां सौमित्रो विसृज्य प्रबलतमरुषा तेन निर्लोननासां दृष्ट्वैनां रुष्टचित्तं खरमभिपतितं दूषणं च त्रिमूर्धं व्याहिंसीराशरानप्ययुतसमधिकान् तत्क्षणादक्षतोष्मा सोदर्या प्रोक्तवार्ता विवश दशमुखादिष्टमारीचमाया सारङ्गं सारसाक्ष्या स्पृहितमनुगतः प्रावधीर्बाणघातम् तन्मायाक्रन्दनिर्यापितभवदनुजां रावणस्ता महर्षीत् तेनार्तोऽपि त्वमन्तः किमपि मुदमधाः तद्वधोपायलाभात् भूयस्तन्वीं विचिन्वन् आहृतदशमुखः त्वद्वधूं मद्वधेनेत्युक्त्वा याते जटायो दिवमथ सुहृदः प्रातनोः प्रेतकार्यम् गृह्णानन्दं कबन्धं जघनिथ शबरीं प्रेक्ष्य पम्पातटे त्वं सम्प्राप्तो वातसूनुं भृशमुदितमनाः पाहि वातालयेश नीतः सुग्रीव मैत्रीं तदनु हनुमता दुन्दुभे कायमुच्चैः क्षिप्त्वाङ्गुष्ठेन भूयो लुलुविथ युगपत्पत्रिणा सप्तसालान् हत्वा सुग्रीवघातोद्यतमधुलबलं वालिनं व्याजवृत्त्या वर्षावेलामनैषीर्विरहतरलितः त्वं मतङ्गाश्रमं ते सुग्रीवेणानुजोक्त्या सभयमभियताब्यूहितां वाहिनीं तां वृक्षाणां वीक्ष्य दिक्षु द्रुतमथ दयितामर्गणा यावनम्राम् सन्देशं चाङ्गुलीयं पवनसुतकरे प्रादिशो मोदशालीं मार्गे मार्गे ममार्गे कपिभिरपि तदा त्वत्प्रिया सप्रयासैः त्वद्वार्ता कर्णनोद्यद्गरुदुरुजव सम्पाति सम्पाति वाक्य प्रोत्तीर्णार्णोधिरन्तर्नगरि जनकजां वीक्ष्य दत्त्वाङ्गुलीयम् प्रक्षुद्योद्यानमक्षक्षपणचणरणः सोडबन्धो दशास्यम् दृष्ट्वा पृष्ट्वा च लङ्कां झटिति स हनुमान् मौलिरत्नं ददौ ते त्वं सुग्रीवाङ्गदादिप्रबलकपिचमू चक्रविक्रान्तभूमी चक्रोऽभिक्रम्य पारे जलधि निशिचरेन्द्रानुजाश्रीयमाणः तत्प्रोक्तां शत्रुवार्तां रहसि निशमयन् प्रार्थनापार्थ्यरोषप्रास्ताग्रेयास्त्रतेजस्त्रसदुदधिगिरा लब्धवान् मध्यमार्गम् ईशैराशान्तरोपाहृतगिरिनिकरैः सेतुमाधाप्य यातः यातून्यामर्द्यदंष्ट्रा नखशिखरिशिलासालशस्त्रैः स्वसैन्यैः व्याकुर्वन् सानुजस्त्वं समरभुवि परं विक्रमं शक्रजेत्रा वेगान्नागास्त्रबद्धः पतगपतिगरुन्मारुतैर्मोचितो भूः सौमित्रिस्त्वत्र शक्तिप्रहृति गलदसुर्वात जानीत शैलघ्राणात् प्राणानुपेतः व्यकृणुत कुसृतिश्लाघिनं मेघनादम् मायाक्षोभेषु वैभीषणवचनहृतस्तम्भनः कुम्भकर्णं सम्प्राप्तं कम्पितोर्वीतलमखिलचमो भक्षिणं व्यक्षिणोस्त्वम् गृह्णन् जम्भारि सम्प्रेषितरथकवचौ रावणेनाभियुध्यन् ब्रह्मास्त्रेणास्य भिन्दन् गलदतिमबलामग्निशुद्धां प्रगृह्णन् देवश्रेणीवरोज्जीवितसमरमृतैरक्षतैर्ऋक्षसङ्घैः लङ्काभर्त्रा च साकं निजनगरमगाः सप्रियः पुष्पकेन प्रीतो दिव्याभिषेकैरयुत समधिकान् वत्सरान् पर्यरंसीः मैथिल्यां पापवाचा शिव शिव किल तां गर्भिणीमभ्यहासीः शत्रुघ्नेनार्दयित्वा लवणनिशिचरं प्रार्दय शूद्रपाशं तावद् वाल्मीकिगेः कृतवसतिरुपासूतसीतासुतौ ते वाल्मीकेस्त्वत्सुतोद्गापितमधुरकृते राज्ञया यज्ञवाटे सीतां त्वय्याप्तु कामे क्षितिमविशदसौ त्वञ्च कालार्थितो भूः हेतोः सौमित्रिघाती स्वयमथ सरयूमग्ननिःशेषभृत्यैः साकं नाकं प्रयातो निजपदमगमो देव वैकुण्ठमाद्यम् सोऽयं मर्त्यावतारः तव खलु नियतं मर्त्यशिक्षार्थमेवं विश्लेषार्तिर्निरागस्त्यजनमपि भवेत् कामधर्मातिसक्त्या नो चेत् स्वात्मानुभूतेः क्व नु तव मनसो विक्रिया चक्रपाणे सत्वं सत्वैकमूर्ते पवनपुरपते व्याधुनो व्याधितापान् सत्वं सत्वैकमूर्ते पवनपुरपते व्याधुनो व्याधितापान् नारायणाखिलगुरो भगवन् नमस्ते जानकीकान्तस्मरणं जय जय राम राम. There is a question here. We get back to this thing. So So in music, can we, how much to pull dirgha, how much to pull hrasva? It is a difficult question to answer. It is not given in any text or anything. It is only by practice. It is as much as possible the hrasva should be kept as hrasva. It is absolutely not possible with the swara, with the sangati and all. Then it should be pulled. Dirgha can be made to pluta and so on. There are some exceptional cases. The hrasva can be made into pluta also. But it is good to always show the difference. And all the Mahan Skritis will have already taken care that hrasva remains hrasva.
I have only one comment, sir. Dikshidhar, he composed and he also sang.
Yes.
So you cannot give an excuse, Neerajakshi, I have to say it because of this. You have to sing according to the way he wrote it.
Yes, yes.
And that is why there's always a conflict. Musicians are very good in singing. They are very sensitive to the notes, but not to the lyric. So, that's all. I mean, it is a very beautiful class. I really enjoyed this. First time, that's why I want that the way you have delineated the Abhyantara Prayatana Snar, everything. It is very nicely kept in one slide with our edits. So that's important that keep that on the portal. It is a very nice refresher course to go back to the fundamental. Thank you. Dhanyavad.
Dhanyavad. Okay. Any other? Yes, Swati. Yes, question. Then Parthasati 356. Yes, Swati.
Ram Guruji.
Ram.
Guruji, you have covered all the consonants and swaras. What about Visarga? Where does
those are not, they're neither consonant nor swaras. Visarga and Anuswara, that is separate aspect number that will come.
Suppose we are saying Pitamaha. So, Ha, you have once said that it is the Ha is pronounced, it is coming from some other place, and that
we'll deal with that when Visarga and Hakara come.
Oh, okay, Guruji. Thank you so much.
Vidya Lakshmi, then Srinidhi Ashwin.
Ram Guruji. I would like to get the pronunciation of the swara which comes after the dirgha r kara.
That is
Oh, so that is where I think we get confused between the la and la, which we see in South Indian languages and in Sanskrit. Yes. Okay.
This is a swara l, very rarely used. It comes.
Yes. Thank you. Dhanyavadaha.
Srinidhi Ashwin. You can unmute yourself. Ram J15.
Hello, able to hear?
Yes.
Namaskaram. For in the fifth line, pa fa, it is fa only in Sanskrit also, it is or is it?
We'll come to it.
Okay.
Next class.
Okay.
Guruji, namaste, namaskaram.
Namaste.
So,
yes.
The consonants in the Vyanjanam, the ka, kha, ga, which you are showing, and actually it is with the halantam irkadala. The pronunciation it is ik. Ik plus a will become ka. It will not
ka. Correct. If you say ik, then there is a e in front of ka. You are saying you can never pronounce Vyanjanas without swara. That is what the definition of Vyanjana is. I am saying ka, therefore I am putting akara after the ka. You are saying ik, so you are putting the ikara before the ka. So you can, the definition of Vyanjana itself is that you cannot pronounce them separately without swara. Swayam rajante it is swaraha. Swara can be pronounced by itself. Vyanjana always depends on swara to pronounce. You cannot say it by itself. So in Sanskrit it is allowed to say k as ka. In such cases, when we are reading this, though we are writing with halanta, you cannot pronounce just that. So it is allowed to say as ka, kha, ga, ga. That's how it is allowed.
No, but Guruji, like Ramat, Panchami Vibhakti comes, the Ramat where it comes, the is with halantam. So we are saying it only, Ramat, without
you have a swara before that. There is a swara before that, at.
Yeah.
Just like you're saying ik here, you have the akara before the ta. So you're able to say it, or else you won't be able to say it.
Oh. But like Shwasam.
Should be swara before or after. Or it should be some joint, somewhere swara should be in the connection, or else you cannot.
No, Shwasam. We say Shwasam. So ish Shwasam. So there it is only Vyanjanam.
Correct. Only when you're able to say shwa, that akara, shava, and then a is coming. That's why you're able to say it. If you want to say only shva, it is not possible.
Oh.
You said ish, so you're using the e to tell the ish.
Oh.
It is practically not possible to say without. If there is obviously there are the samyuktaksharas are a combination of vyanjanas. After that or before that, there should be a swara. Or else without that you cannot say.
Okay.
Either following or preceding, there should be swara.
Okay. Dhanyawad.
Sir, I have one question.
Hello. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes.
I was just listening to your conversation. You know, even after living in the US for the last 54 years, my English is not perfect. Neither are the 150 million Indians who speak English, nor do the 100 million Americans who live in the South speak English to the standard level. So there is always that problem. Notwithstanding all that, one of the things we could conceivably do with respect to Alpa Prana and Mahaprana is, in the Tamil script, if you write ka, you could either superscript or put a script underneath, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It'll identify whether it is Alpa Prana or Mahaprana. I mean, that should be made a standard. At least it will solve part of the problem.
Actually, standard in Gita Press books, in Gita Press publications, if you see, many of the Gita books or other books, they do that. For ka, kha, ga, gha, they put 1, 2, 3, 4 is given that. That's a standard, but many other publications do not follow that. And that is a lot of work. The person who is publishing, who is writing that, should slowly do that. So that is effort, and many people do not put that. And the Tamil people do not know how to pronounce. Even if that 1, 2, 3, 4 is put, they get confused. So that should be made a standard, as you say. And it is there in Gita Press, they do that. I've seen Gita books with 1, 2, 3, 4. They're very good printing.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots and lots of Sanskrit experts in Tamil Nadu, and everybody knows that. And it's just a matter of practicing it. It takes a long time. I mean, it took me almost 15 to 18 years before I could get myself closer to the native speech pattern. Even though I'm married to an American, a Canadian lady, it's very difficult to get the accent and the pronunciation correctly done. Right. So people should not be too much worried about it. They got to just try it. The only
they have to keep practice. Keep make it perfect. Yes.
The only Indian language I think is Tamil that doesn't line up with the Sanskrit script.
Yes.
I'm going to make the conversation more diverse, but I don't want to do it. But I'm just to touch up on one thing. Our Kalyana Krishnan said that one. So in Tamil, Bharatya has said that says Sithiramam Kalpadakam Sandamidam Napadakam. So it is just a practice.
Yes.
So you have to practice, and then based on the guru from whom you learn, that will be some nuances will be there. Based on music, based on the teacher. Every teacher is different. So it's important to standardize the pronunciation. Like 100 million Englishmen speak 100 million different ways. But my question on this one is, in Vedic, they also add one more level onto this Ucharana, right? Anudatta and Svarita and then Udatta.
That is Swara, that is like music.
So is that applicable only Swaras, right? It's not applicable to Vyanjanas.
No, that is also applicable to Swaras. Yes.
Only Swaras here, right?
You cannot use when you cannot pronounce Vyanjana separately, there is no point. You cannot give it.
I agree. Yeah, that's a good point. Right. So, is there just a question of this. At the end of the day, how we communicate the ideas is important. So as long as you differentiate the Alpa Prana, Mahaprana, the idea is there. If you say everything at the same level, then meaning changes. So, I mean, that's what I say. The take-home lesson is you differentiate Alpa Prana and Mahaprana so that they know what to mean. And how much you differentiate based on the training. And then some people have a beautiful word. They're able to say it very well. They enunciate the word. Some people don't have. That's also a problem with the tongue and the throat, so many things. But it is a very interesting, very interesting. I really enjoy it. Thank you. Then you want.
Now, Rudrasi and then Ram J15. Rudrasi or Ram J15, you can unmute yourselves if you want to ask anything. Or dot, that is her name. I don't know. One of you can unmute yourself and speak. Gopala Krishnan, you have something to say?
Yes.
Namaste, Mahodaya. I am Narayan. Regarding can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
In the diagram, actually, that Murda portion and Talu portion, I think it should be interchanged, no, Mahodaya? Because Cha will be pronounced.
No.
Murda will be coming this side. And
no.
It is okay.
Slowly, that first thing that confusion exists. Cha, the back of the tongue raises and touches the talu. Cha is cha. Then the tongue goes straight up. The tip of the tongue goes to the roof of the mouth. So the position diagram is correct. We have to understand. The air passes through the tongue. Twists in such a way that the air passes through that place. The air hits that and comes out. That's how it is.
Okay. Thank you.
Namaste, Mahodaya.
Namaste. Yes.
I am Gopalakrishnan. So the Sanskrit version of Narayaneeyam, the Sanskrit version of Narayaneeyam which you showed in the screen, whether it is available for downloading or we should go only for Gita Press Publication.
I took it from the course. I just opened that tab from the course page. You go to the course sanskritfromhome.org. You go to the course on the left on the second bulletin itself is scripts in 5 languages. Scripts are there. The first is Devanagari.
So Dhanyavad.
Brinda Narayanan.
Namaskaram, Guruji. So for the Vyanjanam, even if we write ik, it's called Vyanjanam, right? And we pronounce it as ka. Yes. Is that what you are saying?
Yeah, Tamil we usually we have practice of pronunciation like that. We say ik.
Yes.
That we say it as ka only.
So this Gunita Aksharam and Vyanjanam, how do we differentiate then? They are the same?
Gunita, Samyukta and all that we will come in classes later.
Thank you, Ji. Namaskaram.
And Jyoti.
Ram Guruji. Yeah, I have 3 questions. Maybe they are basic. Please excuse me for asking because I had not taken. My first question is, when you say swaras before Vyanjana, what does it mean? Can you give an example?
This Vyanjana as is seen on the slide, the current slide. Every Vyanjana has a halanta. The halanta, the line below is called the halanta. So you cannot pronounce the letter at all by itself. Only if you write it like this, you can pronounce it. Like this, if you can pronounce it. This is equal to k plus a. Only then you can pronounce. You cannot pronounce this separately.
Okay.
That's how we say ka, gha. But only this is the Vyanjana, this is the swara part. Okay. This cannot be pronounced practically, it can never be pronounced by itself. Okay. In Tamil, we have a way, we have a different, in Sanskrit we say ka. In Tamil, we usually say it as ik.
Okay. That means when you pronounce, there is a little drag to it, slight drag, right?
Not slight drag, just which is K plus A.
Okay. Then my second question is, why is the last line called Avargiya? Why is it called Avargiya here, the Lavasha?
Yeah, because these 5 lines are called Vargas. So this is not in the part of those Vargas, so they're called Avargiya.
Oh, okay. And in this chart, basically there is no number 6, so there is no nasika, nasal pronunciation.
That is. We'll come to it. Now I just stopped here. 6 is there.
Oh, 6 is there. Oh, okay. So, and let me take this opportunity to wish you a very happy Ramanavami to you and your family from both me and my husband. Yeah. And we need your blessings to successfully complete this Narayaneeyam. I'm always worried, whether we can complete.
All of us. So we will all complete it successfully. Thank you. I think we have finished all the questions. Namasarvebhyaha, Ram. We shall continue with these things in the next class. Maybe 1 or 2 Dashakams like this today. Similarly, we'll revise. Happy Ramanavami to everyone. Shri Ram. Narayana Akhila Guru Bhagavan Namaste. Agrimasaptahante Shanivasare Punaha Shyamaha.